right, let me go to my page and look at what my next one is. My next one is, oh yeah. So this is one of my favorites as well too. It's recession resistant. Why you should be investing in self-storage. It's recession resistance. We all know what's going to happen in the next couple of months. I don't know. Are we in a recession now? Are we not? Are we going to have one later? Most likely, we're definitely going to be in a recession here soon, right? The one thing I love about storage is that in an upturn, you make money, and in a downturn, you make money. It's like if you look at the history of all of the real estate industries combined, self-storage is just the most stable of everything out there, right? And that actually gives me great comfort, and I'm sure it does too. And I'm sure this is one of the main reasons why you do want to get into it. But self-storage investing is considered recession resistant, right? And the truth is that even during COVID, right? Even during COVID, like, so, before COVID, we were rocking and rolling and doing great. And then of course, all of a sudden COVID happened. The good thing is that since we started in the business in the first year that we got into real estate, we got into self-storage investing and bought our first facility, we tried to make everything as electronic and virtual as we possibly can, right? And so, for 3 years, we were managing everything from our computer. We rarely ever went to the facilities, and then COVID hit. And I'm telling you, a lot of these owners, these mom and pop owners, they really took a hard hit, because the truth is like, I would say up to COVID, you had to go to the facility and you had to sign the contract. You had to meet your tenant and get the signed contract. I remember we, like 3 years ago, we moved up into the North Georgia mountains. And so we got a storage facility kind of right next to our house. We actually went and rented a unit, because all of our storage facilities are kind of we're in the Atlanta area and then like down South Georgia. And so we rented the storage unit, and I'm telling you, the guy, he did not have a software, and I had to mail him in a check to pay for the unit. And it was just like the weird, and he mailed me the contract. I signed it and I mailed it back to him, and then I mailed him a check as well too. And every month I had to mail him a check. I just thought that was the weirdest thing, because we already owned like maybe 4 or 5 storage facilities at that time, and like we don't even accept checks. So COVID, before COVID, it was very much not virtual at all. And then during COVID, they created this word that's called contactless. And the storage investing world, in the storage industry, essentially, is like everybody, all these mom and pops, and even all the bigger REITs, all had to become contactless. Because if you go into like a U-Haul and you want to rent something, they got this long, huge contract that's like you have to sign and electronically sign, and it's just like this whole thing, because they have all this paperwork that you have to do. So before COVID, everything was a lot different. And now it's contactless. But for us personally, we were already contactless. Because we had been that way anyways. And so for us, COVID, like nothing changed. Honestly, nothing changed for us at all. And I'm very, very blessed to be able to say that, honestly. But like we had a couple of people, we had about 1,000 tenants at the time, and we had a couple of people that said that they couldn't afford their $50 a month or $100 a month. And so like my husband came up with like some payment plans and this kind of stuff to help them out. But essentially it was probably a handful of people. I mean, out of 1,000 tenants, it was probably like maybe 50 people or something, and that's it. And in the end, most people actually paid their everything off and got back on their feet and stuff. So for us, I mean, losing a couple $1,000s was really not that big of a deal out of the grand scheme of things, because we had so much money coming in. And for us also, as just like, it just makes life so much better, when you can go through something like that happens and still make the money. We were still making income on all the properties that we had, except for just a handful of people that didn't pay. And so that's why I say storage is recession resistant,